afternoon. Nice to see everyone. I'm going to start in standing position today. I hope everyone is well. We've had some nice days, some sunshine. It's a little overcast out there right now, but that's okay. We're not going to let us get us down. We'll work on our breath today and some energy moves. Even though the sun's not shining, we can have the party going on in our head, as I often say. So I'd like to have everyone come to a standing, and we can do Tadasana. We can bring our hands to heart center. I'd like to thank the Maslin Museum for this opportunity to practice. I hope to see you all in person next month. And if you find it in your heart to make a donation to the Maslin Museum, please feel free to go to their website and do so. So we'll get started here. And let's find our breath. Maybe putting our hand on our stomach, lower abdomen, and let's do a shallow breath first. With our inhalation, feel our stomach extend, and with the exhalation, feel that stomach go more towards the spine. The belly button's pulled towards the spine. With each exhalation, just fill up that belly. And exhalation. Inhalation, pushing your hand, your belly out. Exhalation, feel it going in. And just follow through with that, either with your eyes closed or 3/4 closed in a soft gaze. This is more of a shallow breath. And then we'll just find our normal breath coming back, shaking out your hands. Placing your hand back on your stomach and your other hand up on the upper chest. And this time we're going to do a little bit of a fuller breath. So not only are we going to fill our stomach with air, but we're also going to fill our chest. And this might be a 4 count or a 6 count inhalation. Feeling that upper hand go up, filling up all your lungs, and then exhaling, beginning with your chest until you've let all the air out in your stomach. And inhaling, first starting with your stomach, maybe doing a 6 count until your chest is full, and exhaling, emptying your chest and then your belly. And do this on your own. Again, you could try either a 4 count or a 6 count. So inhaling 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhaling 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Try a couple of these on your own. And coming back to center, taking our arms down, maybe shaking them out a little bit, taking the arms up overhead, clasping your fingers up overhead, pushing through, really stretching, lifting up your knees, engaging your quads and your legs, engaging your arms, really stretching and releasing. And let's push that through again and take a nice bend over to the right hand side. Feeling that nice stretch opening up the left side. Noticing your breath. Is it a shallow breath or is it a deep breath? Back to neutral. To the right. Couple breaths. Notice the deepness or the shallowness. And back to center. So opening our arms with a big breath, inhale, closing them in front of us, exhale. Inhale, opening, exhale, closing. Just practicing an inhalation and an exhalation. Inhalation, exhalation, close. Take them up overhead. With the inhalation, we'll do a forward fold, exhalation. If you have your blocks handy, you might want to put your blocks under your hands. Take it down, nice forward fold. Your hands could be on the blocks. Grabbing our elbows, doing a ragdoll, shaking it out, side to side. Shaking your head, right to left, yes and no, just shake it out. Hands back on the ground, halfway up, hands on the knees, or above the knees, I should say. Straight back, forward fold with the exhalation, and then coming up, bent knees, inhalation, all the way up, hands to center, and heart center. Okay. Take my sweater off so you can see my alignment. Moving up to the front of my mat. Again, we'll practice with our breath, taking our arms up with an inhalation, exhalation, forward fold, stepping the right foot back, framing the left foot, framing it, taking, slowly coming up into a crescent, breathing, breathing, bringing our arms down and taking a twist to the right. Exhale. Inhale, bring the arms up overhead. Exhale, bring them down. Bring that leg together. Bending, coming up. Inhalation, exhalation. So, what we do on one side, we do on the other side. So I will go to the other side of the mat so you can see me on this side. I'll do inhalation, forward fold, exhale, forward fold, taking the left foot back, coming up with an inhale, We did similar moves last week. Bringing your arms down, opening up. Closing that with an exhale. Arms overhead with an inhale. Framing that foot. Step it back. Forward fold. Shaking out those hips. You can have a slight bend in your legs if you'd like. Halfway up. Forward fold. Coming all the way up. We're going to go through similar again. Arms up, forward fold. Step the left foot back. The heel is elevated, coming up for a crescent. Now pivoting on the ball of your left foot, take it to a 45-degree angle. Warrior one. Take it to a 90-degree. Take that back foot to 90-degree, bending the front. Warrior two. Straightening the front leg. Bringing it down to warrior two. Dropping that back arm. Taking your gaze up to the sky. Dropping knee to elbow. Nice side angle. Rotating that back arm up into triangle. And if you have your block and want to set it on the outside of your foot, please feel free to do so. Nice side angle. And what we do on this side, we will do on the other side. Slowly coming up, pivoting that front foot, pivoting the left foot now, right foot is in the back. Let's take those arms down, stepping in to a forward fold, halfway up, forward fold, stepping that right foot back, coming up into a crescent lunge. Pivoting the ball of that back foot, setting that heel down at a 45-degree angle. Warrior one. Pivoting that back foot to a 90-degree angle. Bending that front knee, warrior two. Coming up into a triangle. Coming down. Bending that front leg, warrior two. Dropping that back arm, taking your gaze up. Dropping the front elbow, side angle. Straightening the arms and the legs, coming up and meeting in triangle. Again, if you have your block, set your block on the outside of your left foot, hinging, going down into right angle. Coming back up. pivoting that front foot and the toes, going into goddess and prayer. And coming up into 5-pointed star. We'll do that again, coming down into goddess. Five-pointed star. And if you'd like to lift your heels when you're in goddess, maybe take the left one up and the right one and alternate that. Maybe even both of them at the same time. And come up. Heel toe, feet together. Shake that out. So again, some breathing with that energy and those forward folds. Coming back up to the front of our mat. Inhaling, exhaling. Taking the left foot, placing it behind the right foot, bending into that, feeling that through the hips. Maybe find a little bit of movement, a little swaying, loosening that up. Untwist that left leg, halfway up. Forward fold, bend the legs all the way up. Exhale to heart center. Inhale up, forward fold. Exhale, taking the right leg, placing it behind the left. Again, find a little movement, a little shaking. Opening up those hips. You can have a little bend in your leg, no worries. You can use your blocks so you can get maybe even more movement. Unbind that right leg, forward fold, halfway up, forward fold, bending, coming up, all the way up, hands to heart center. Nice. Forward fold, exhale, stepping back. Let's go into downward dog. Downward dog. Pushing through, straightening those shoulders, placing the weight evenly distributed in the palms and the fingertips, the toes. I did the monument steps the other day. My calves are really tight today. This feels great. Coming to child's pose. Toes together, knees spread apart. Walking those fingers out, extending those fingers. Finding nice deep breath, cleansing breath. Coming up from child's. Moving legs together, tucking your toes under. Let's sit down on those toes, really open them up. Try and open them up, maybe even try and pull them apart a little bit, get more space between those toes. If you're not used to this, this can be very tenuous. Okay, tucking those toes, Folding them back under, let's push into a downward dog. Taking the right leg up, extending it out perpendicularly to your hip. Taking the left hand towards the shin, towards the ankle. Nice stretch, a lot of strength work here. Flexibility and strength. Bringing that left hand back, taking that right leg up and placing it down. Coming back down to our knees, toes together, child's pose. Walking back up, pushing back into child or into downward dog, taking that left leg up, taking it out perpendicular, taking the right arm to the left calf, left ankle, pushing into that, feeling that nice stretch. Bringing it back, taking it up, back to downward dog, back to child's pose. We'll extend into child pose, and then we'll take those hands and those arms over to the right, taking your left hand and placing it on the right hand for a little bit more of a side stretch. Back to center. Notice your breath. Is it a deep or is it a shallow breath? Back to the left. Placing that right hand on the left hand. Back to center, back up, and we'll find ourselves on our bellies. Looks like the sun's coming out. Hands underneath the shoulder blades. Hips nestled, legs about shoulder or mat distance, depending. People are built differently. So my legs are about mat distance. Pushing up into baby cobra, taking your gaze about 12 inches in front of your mat, pushing through, and then coming down. Pushing up again, taking that gaze out about 6 to 12 inches. Shoulders and elbows in close, tight, and down. Taking the right leg up. Hands can be cupped in front of you as a pillow. Right leg down, left leg back, up and down. Now both legs up. Now taking your hands out to the side, bringing your hands, chest, legs off the mat. Holding it up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly come down. Lifting up again, one more time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Very good. Pushing up into table. We'll do some cat and cow. Again, with your breath. As you're in cat, you almost feel your palms and your knees pushing away from each other. In cat, really stretching, pushing through. And in cow, it's almost like your knees and your palms are coming towards each other. A couple more at your own pace. Coming up on your knees. If you need a blanket or something under your knees, feel free to get them. Again, you can use your block if you have your block handy. Let's go ahead and set our hands, thumbs across the hip, hands on the sacrum, pressing those shoulder blades together, finding a little bit of an arch in that back, taking that gaze, not really hyperextending that neck, but having it elongated, but looking at the sky, coming forward, opening up that back for little back bends. Again, let's do it. Taking your shoulder blades together as if they're kissing, squeezing your elbows together, taking that gaze up and forward. If you'd like a little deeper, you can do one arm at a time, feeling that heel coming up. And maybe the other side, we're loosened up a little bit. And if it's in your practice, you can do both hands on the heels. You can either have your toes tucked under or they can be flat. Taking that gaze up, opening up that chest. Nice heart opener. Breathing really into those lungs. Coming up. And for a nice release, taking it into child's pose. Coming up. Finding yourself on your back, supine, rolling onto supine, extending your arms up, extending your feet, stretching like we did at the beginning of the practice, and releasing. Stretch and release. Bringing those knees up. Taking the right leg across the left knee. Rocking it a little bit forward and backwards. And crossing that right knee over the left knee, lifting up and taking your hips a little bit to the right. Drop those knees to the left. Arms can be overhead or they can be at a T. Nice side twist. Bringing those knees back to center, untwisting them, taking that left heel over the right knee, swinging that leg to the left or forwards and backwards. crossing that left knee over the right knee, lifting up, taking those hips a little bit to the left, dropping those knees to the right. Again, arms can be overhead or they can be to a T. Nice side twist. Back to center. Untwist, bringing those knees into the chest, rolling them out left and right. Coming up into an invisible chair. Bringing your shoulder blades off the mat. Taking your gaze as if you have an apple under your chin. And the modified boat. You can have your hands to prayer. You can even go right and left. Slowly rocking as if you're in a boat. A little bit of core, a little bit of stomach muscles, and roll down. Extending those legs long, bringing the soles of the feet together, splaying the knees open. And again, taking and folding up, using your core muscles, and going from right to left. As if you have an apple in your chin. Using the lats, lower stomach muscles, building some energy and some fire. Coming down, taking those arms overhead, extending the feet, stretching them, bringing the legs up close, pushing into a bridge, taking your arms down to the side, rolling gently back down, making a little curvature in your spine so I have enough room to put my hands underneath there if I wanted to, and then rolling that back up into a bridge. And do this a couple times at your own pace, making an exaggerated arch in your back and pushing up through your heels to bridge. If you want to take one leg up when you're in that bridge, come down, roll up, exaggerate, gently push into another bridge, take the opposite leg up, and bring that leg down, roll back down. We'll get ready for Shavasana, extending our legs long. Finding the energy to go to those parts of your body that may need it most. Maybe do a scan, but beginning with your feet and your toes, going up through your calves, and your knees, your hamstrings and your glutes into your hips. Feeling it travel up into your spine, through your shoulder blades and your scapula, your clavicles, down through the arms. Notice what muscles, what limbs move to face your palms up, encouraging the energy of the sun to feel and fill those hands through your neck, up through your skull, into the intellect, the top frontal lobe, your intellect. Begin to add a little movement to your fingers and your toes. Notice your breathing pattern. Is it a shallow belly breathing, or is it a full belly, diaphragm, thoracic part of your chest? Find some movement as if you're waking up. Maybe take a stretch with those arms overhead. Rolling over to one side. Taking a couple cleansing breaths there. And back up. The sun is out. Yay! Taking those arms wide, up overhead, pulling all that sunshine down into your heart center. The student and teacher in me honors the student and teacher in each and every one of you. Namaste.